Please be advised that everything in my video is purely for entertainment purposes. These are purely my thoughts and opinions and are subjective. I must advise you to please do your own research. All media users found on the public domain and are fair use and fair dealings.
Hello everybody, I hope you're all keeping well. In the UK we've had the excitement of more lockdown measures have been released finally. We're now allowed to hug people, thanks Boris, and we can dine indoors, so we're looking to go out for meals and stuff. My husband and I are going away for our first camping trip this weekend. Now for those of you outside the UK, this past, say 2 weeks, it has done nothing but rain. Rain in the morning, afternoon, evening. Spring in the UK, you've got to love it. So we're still going to brave it. We're going to do it because we need to get out of this house. We've got a huge tent, so it's okay. We're not going to be stuck in like just a bedroom compartment. We've got a living space area and everything. We've got one of these super duper camping brollies, and it's huge. You can use them on the beach as well. They're really, really good, but they're so big and they kind of like, they cover both of you, and you can sit comfortably in camping chairs, reading a book with absolutely torrential rain in it, and you stay nice and dry. So we will be able to sit outside. We're going to be camping near a huge reservoir, so there's lots and lots of bird life and stuff, and they don't care if it's raining, so we're still going to get out and about. For this reason we've decided not to take the dogs, just because if there's thunderstorms they're not going to be too happy being in a tent. Plus we have to take them out for regular walks, which means they'll be covered in mud, they'll be wet dogs in a tent, confined space. Wow, that is a pong. So we have decided it's just going to be us, and hopefully we won't get flooded. The campsite that we're staying in, it's basically woodland, so we are camping under trees. So let's hope there's no lightning storms. But I'll be taking photographs and show you some pictures next week. So this video this week, Groundhog Day. Oh, wow. Every time we see Harry, it does feel like it's Groundhog Day for most of us. Now, Groundhog Day, for those of you that don't know, is a famous Bill Murray film where he goes to sleep after having a bad day, and then he wakes up and he relives that day over and over and over and over. And that is exactly how I feel that we are living with Harry day to day at the moment. So before I get on to Harry, let's talk about the other royals. The Cambridges have been sending out lovely little letters and thank yous to people that have been writing in, giving their condolences to Prince Philip. They've shared the fact that the grandchildren are very much missing him. Whilst we didn't see a lot of photographs with Philip playing with the grandchildren, they did spend a lot of time with him up in Sandringham, and Philip obviously towards his later years became a lot more private. But yeah, it's just really sad, isn't it? It's just how much it is affecting the whole family. Prince Charles and Camilla are on a 2-day tour of Northern Ireland, and Prince Charles is photographed reliving some of the visits that his father did, which I'd imagine is actually quite a nice feeling for Charles. There's something nice about comparing these photographs, you know, the son treading in his father's footsteps, which I'm sure for Charles is actually quite a nice moment. The Queen is reportedly going to go to Balmoral out of season. This is her Scottish summer retreat that she and most of the royal family go and visit, and they do shooting and fishing and just real outdoorsy, lots of horse riding. It's actually the Queen's safe haven that she and Philip used to frequent, and she's got a lot of memories there. It's where I guess that they could come away from royal duties and really be themselves. I think if anything, with everything that's going on coming over from Montecito at the moment, the Queen could probably do with a very nice, relaxing, quiet break away from it all. So you've got to ask the question, what the hell, and that's me being polite, is going on with Harry? For a man that is constantly telling us all that he's so happy that Meghan helped him escape the confines and the restraints, that he has been miserable until she freed him and made him realise he didn't have to be a princess, he sure enough will not stop bleating on about it over and over and over and over. This is what we're having at the moment, and it's becoming very, very trying for even some of his supporters to continuously defend him, because all right, you've said it more than enough, why do you keep doing it? And each time he tells the story, it's more dramatic, there's more upset, there's more heartache, there's more trauma. He certainly seems to be taking a leaf out of Meghan's book. So obviously I am referring to Harry and Dax Shepard's podcast. Dax Shepard is shortly going to be joining Spotify, so scratch my back, I scratch yours, and Prince Harry had a chance to plug his new mental health documentary that he's been working on for years with Oprah. We knew the kind of narrative that Harry was obviously going to do, because it's this whole, I'm a victim, I've had such a bad time, my life has been so miserable, I'm now so happy, that's why I won't stop moaning. Yes, okay, sure. poor Harry. Harry compared his life to being that of The Truman Show, the Jim Carrey film where, I keep quoting films here, but the Jim Carrey film where he basically is born into reality TV. His entire life is made up of actors. Nothing is real in his life, and he doesn't know that he is basically being watched by the entire world. Now, I think that's a bit extreme for Harry. He did make the comment of how he feels sometimes it's a bit like being in a zoo, and of course you can kind of take a little bit of that, you know, people gawk at him when he goes out and stuff. But the thing is, when he was part of the royal family, we only really used to see Harry when he was on official engagements, really. The newspapers generally left him alone, all right, when he was in trouble when he was a teenager, but they're all members of private members clubs all around the world, really. They've got friends with islands that they own the entire island. They can go on holiday when they want. They can go to exclusive restaurants where, you know, no cameras, no reporters, no one is allowed. He had a hell of a lot of privacy. Then he moves to LA, that's La La Land, where it's the photographer capital of the world. And he is in our face daily. He's on Spotify, he's talking to reporters, he's talking on interviews, he's on a bus, he's on an open top bus talking to James Corden, he's talking to Oprah. The boy is not shutting up anytime soon. And I call him a boy because he is behaving like a man-child. And very much like a child, he's forgetting some of the truths that he has told previously. He said that Meghan was the reason why he sought help, because she could see that he was angry and he had all of this deep-rooted trauma. Meghan was the one that helped him seek medical therapy or mental health support. Yet in 2017, Harry's interview, I think it was with the Telegraph, he stated that at 28 years old, he finally decided to seek help after his brother William had pushed him to do so. At the JP Morgan event, which was only last year, he told the audience that he'd been in therapy for 7 years. But now all of a sudden he's telling Dax Shepard that it was only until he met Meghan that he actually decided to seek help. If you're going to lie, you've got to have a good memory. One of the many things that got up people's nose was Harry's insistence that he was miserable being a member of the royal family and he did not want to be a member of the royal family in his 20s. So it begs the question, why did you take a royal bride, an actress that quite clearly did not want to follow the rules, did not understand the rules, did not even know the national anthem, and declare that you wanted to be full-time working royals, that you would support the Queen, that you would dedicate your life to public service and duty? I'll tell you why. Because it was a lie. Because they wanted the titles. Because they knew that if they'd have left, got married, and left the royal family, and gone over to LA, what would they have to sell? They wouldn't have had a chance. Meghan wouldn't have had the platform that she had, all the speeches that she gave. She needed the coverage, didn't she? She needed that worldwide adoration, which she did get initially in the beginning. And then they wanted the titles, and then they wanted to go make money with the titles. It wasn't a romantic story of how Meghan rescued her princess and whisked him away to Hollywood to give him a life that he could never dream of. It was a smash and grab, a cash and carry. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and it's true. It was, quick, let's get in, grab everything we can, and then go. Greed, always greed. I truly believe that they planned this even before they got engaged. I've said this across other videos, but for those of you that see me for the first time, there's just too many examples. She never had her clothes shipped over from Canada. She never got rid of all of her agents, her PR company, her accounts, her private accounts, everything. She kept everything in America. And Meghan has been planning this for a long, long time. I'm sorry, but if she was truly going to commit to joining to the royal family, the very first sign was at least having your clothes shipped over. So Harry is continuously going on and on now. He's got a new snake oil to sell to people. This time it's now his childhood trauma that he had. And he's definitely intensifying and doubling down on this. But in the podcast with Dax Shepard, he went a step that after Oprah, you thought that he would at least shut up a little bit. But no, he has slacked off his father's parenting skills and the Queen and Philip's. Philip has only been gone 6 weeks since his passing. The Queen is still very much grieving for her partner of 73 years. This is his grandmother and grandfather that Harry has been seen on very many documentaries discussing about the fact that I don't know how my grandmother would do it without him. You know, I don't think she'd be able to do it without him. So there he is, a matter of weeks after his grandfather's loss, with his grandmother still in absolute turmoil, and I dread to think how much she must be missing Philip. He has chosen yet again to attack the royal family, but the Queen's parenting skills and his own grandfather's. How cruel and twisted is Harry now? I know initially in the beginning I was one of these people, I was blaming Meghan for a lot of it, but now I don't. I actually think they're two peas in a pod, and I think that they actually deserve each other. I think Harry has gone past any sort of redemption as far as the UK public would be concerned. I don't think anyone would forgive him. Harry goes on and on again, and he tries to explain to Dax about, this trauma that he's had from childhood. And I mean, yes, it's obviously very devastating that he's lost his mother, but William lost his mother too. There are so many people in the world that lose their parents at a young age, that go through horrific upbringings. There was a point where Dax was actually talking about his own childhood, where he was abused, and then he got addicted to crack and alcohol addiction. And do you know what Harry said? This shows the maturity of Harry here. Harry turned around and said, "What was it like to take a shitload of drugs?" Like Jack the lad. One, why are you swearing, Harry? I know I just swore there, but I had to, give the kind of thing across. But he's like trying to be all, yeah, I'm one of the lads, yeah, I can say shit. What on earth is he doing? And secondly, what an immature response. Dax later goes on to talk about how his brother used to literally physically beat the living hell out of him. Not just like sibling kind of punch-ups. Do you know what Harry compared it to? The comedy film with Will Ferrell, Step Brothers. That is the mental maturity of him. So of course he's sitting there comparing himself to someone that's gone through real hardships. Oh yeah, I got addicted to a bit of cannabis, so my parents made me go to rehab. At least you had parents to put you and pay for you to go into rehab, Harry. He went on to talk about, this trauma has come, it's been passed down genetically because of his father. His father was brought up in such a way that he suffered trauma, this is Prince Charles. So he's slagging off the Queen and Philip's upbringing of Prince Charles. And Prince Charles then passed that down to Harry. Obviously it skipped William, forgetting the fact that Harry seems to forget that he has a brother. And he also had a mother that also had her own issues. But Diana and Charles tried together as a couple to make them have a better and a more stable, normal life, even after the divorce. Diana would take them, all right, she took them to homeless shelters and stuff, but that was to teach them as children how privileged that they really, really were. She'd also take them to theme parks and be like normal kids. Charles, there's some video footage out there of Charles when Harry falls over, he runs to Charles and Charles is making him feel better. They tried to keep it amicable. Charles and Diana actually were one of the first royal couples to actually put their children through normal school. When they were young toddlers, Charles was homeschooled and then he went straight into boarding school. So again, no wonder he had such a tough time, because he had none of that kind of socialisation and kind of, I suppose, ribbing and everything else that you generally get growing up, to be homeschooled and then to go in that environment. But you see what I'm saying, that they tried to break the kind of things that affected them. That's all you can do as parents. I mean, I know my husband and I don't have children, but I've often thought of having children. I think there are certain things that I would do differently that I know affected me that my mum and my dad did. I don't blame them for it. When you have a child, you don't exactly have a handbook. And much like Charles and Diana, my parents, when they set out to have me, they didn't know that they would break up and divorce when I was 4 years old. My mum didn't want to or plan to be a single mother. My dad remarried and, I've got my stepmother. So I had lots of different parenting rules and different lives. No one really knows how it's going to work out. You just have to think on your feet. But for Harry to be bashing his parents and Harry talking about the trauma that he's had and how he's going to break the cycle for his children. Harry, one's not born yet and the other one is 2 years old. You've got no idea yet what it's like to be a real father. And I'm sorry, but I think anyone can see that those children are going to have their own problems. They've been isolated from all of their family. I dread to think the poison that is going to be fed into those children's ears, because Harry certainly has changed his attitude. There's stories out there where Harry's talking about that his dad used to spend 3 hours on the phone with him, that William and his father both helped him through mental health, getting support and making sure that he was looked and cared for. Harry has only changed his tune since he's got with Meghan, and each time, like we hear Meghan's version of events and Harry's version of events, it gets a lot more dramatic and a lot more worse and a lot more wee, 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 wee. If you don't know what that is, it's mini violins. I mean, even to be quoting genetic pain. This is like someone on their staff for Archwell talking about being racist is in our DNA. If you're born white, you're born racist. It's just unbelievable. You are the way that you are because of who you choose to be. I'm sorry, yes, of course, there's elements that affect us as we grow up, but everyone has some form of trauma in their life. You get through it, you get help if you can get help, and it's just you grow up. Harry was 11, 12 years old when Diana died. He's now 37 this year, I believe. He's 36 going on 37 years old. He's been alive longer now than what he was with his mother being alive. It's time to let it go. Harry and William did a documentary together, if you remember, on Diana a few years back, and they actually, William said at the end of it that he hopes now that, you know, there was lots of extra footage, there was lots of personal things that people possibly didn't know about Diana, and he and Harry were not going to do any more documentaries or anything like this because it was their way of just having one last, I suppose, like saying a big goodbye and giving the public something a little bit more. William wanted to put his mother to rest. Harry, since he's met Meghan, is literally churning her up every single day. And it's being done for his image, to earn money. It's being done to make people feel sorry for him and to throw in this whole victim narrative. It is so messed up. And here he is doing a mental health TV documentary where he's going to relive Diana's funeral. Footage of it. Lord knows what he's going to say about his father this time. Oh, my dad whispered in my ear, you better, you know, keep a stiff upper lip, sunshine. You know, there's going to be horrible stuff that's coming out. When you think about all the privileges and all the places that Harry's been to in the world, all of the people that he's seen, all of the countries he's been to where there's absolute poverty, child poverty, children that have walked on landmines, children that are suffering from diseases because of the level of poverty that they live in. He's played with children in orphanages. He has been to the World Child Awards, where these children, some of them have got terminal illnesses, and they have fought and they are brave and their parents are brave, and the entire family has just come together, and these children show so much light and so much strength that they would put the average adult to shame. Harry has been part of that. Harry, all the Invictus athletes, the ones that have, you know, some of them have lost multiple limbs through fighting for their countries. And here's Harry talking about his trauma, how hard his life is. Yet again, there's nothing there, is there, that can make him be humble? What possibly could it take? There is nothing left. It goes to show that there's something that's not quite there that should be there with Harry by now. All I see is anger. There's no genuine compassion. There's no genuine empathy. Where's, you know, the actual humanitarianism in him? Where is his humanity to look at all of these people that he's seen real suffering? And yet he is bleating how traumatic his life was. He even had a cheek while talking to Dax saying there's no point, you know, pointing fingers and blaming anybody. Well, that's exactly what you are doing, Harry. That's all you and Meghan do. You blame everyone else for anything and everything that's gone wrong in your lives. And you take not even one moment to go, hang on a minute. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe people are annoyed at me because it's something that I did. Maybe people didn't have the best reaction at my grandfather's funeral because I had literally 2-3 weeks before called them all racist where they couldn't defend themselves, which caused a lot of controversy and a lot of people attacking my family. But no, my family didn't speak to me like I was the next saviour. Both Meghan and Harry, you know, they're lost on the concept that they're sitting in £11 million mansion, or are they? Who knows at the moment? There's lots of rumours going round, but I don't know where they live. I don't really care. But they've got all of this money. They've been given every privilege in life. And all they talk about is how happy they are now. How much that they have saved themselves, they've saved each other, they're living the life that they always dreamed of. Harry doesn't have to be a princess to have a happy life. Meghan told him these words. She actually said, Harry, you don't have to be a princess to have an amazing life. One, bit weird terminology, maybe she knows something we don't know. Harry's going to be the next Bruce Jenner. But joking aside, that again is utter hypocrisy. If Harry doesn't need to be a prince or a princess to have an amazing life, why do they need to be Duke and Duchess? Why do they need to hang on those titles? Why do they need to, everything they appear on? Meghan's latest book, why be the Duchess of Sussex? If you don't need the royal titles, if you don't need to be linked to the royal family, why not give up the titles? They won't. They're hanging on to them tooth and nail. Like I said, it was a smash and grab. The thing is, the more Harry and Meghan moan about their lot in life, the more people are going off them. The more people are realising, going, God, again? They're moaning again. So I say, give them a microphone. Let them moan as much as they like, because one, they're twisting the truth every time that they speak. They forget that the internet, we can look up articles, we can look up documentaries, we can look up exact things that they have previously said, Harry especially, to what they're spouting now. Anyone can do it. You can get on Google and you can see that Harry absolutely loved his family. All right, his relationship with his father had been up and down at times, but generally, especially right up until the moment he met Meghan, that relationship had improved. Harry seemed like he was maturing and growing up, and he certainly wasn't talking about his mother as often as he does now. So if Harry is truly, really happy in his new life, isn't it about time that he let go of the links to the royal family and also let his family have some peace? I personally think that he's not happy. I personally think that he's triangulating all of his anger and upset about how miserable he must really be in this life and how much he's lost, and he's just diverting it at his family because he blames everyone but himself. So that's it for this video. I am filming another video. Now I know that I say this and some of you like, don't say that, but I am filming another video. So I will be back with you. You'll get both videos before I go camping. So take care for now, guys. See you later. Bye.
If you like my video, please remember to like and subscribe. Please, angry typist, you will be blocked, so save your fingers for time. If you would like to buy me a coffee, please go to my About page and click the link. Love, Taz.